That's in. Hey, welcome to Fireside Tats, the premier tattoo improvement podcast in the universe, or at least in Nashville today. Go to tattooimprovement.com, sign up for our mailing list, keep up with what we're doing. We're traveling around, talking to folks. And man, finally, I've been out of my element until just now. Now we're fine.
By the way, thank you guys.
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
it.
We're here with Jacob Kachia.
Yes.
And he is he's with the Ink and Iron Fest. He's emceeing it, helping with the organization. What is your role specifically?
I'm basically one of the foreman for the entire thing right now. I run the whole thing, and then I got suckered into emceeing this thing. So now I get to run my mouth for hours on end with all these guys.
At least they're not pouring beer right next to you at the Lagunitas booth.
I actually lucked out with that this year. They came in last night, and they're like, "Hey, do you mind if we set up on stage?" And I said, "Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We'll take beer all day."
Yeah. I was a little worried that they were going to start pouring it like at noon when we got here, and by this point I would just be sloshed.
Well, I'm trying to get there. So.
Yeah, right. So you've been working with this festival how long?
I've been with Ink and Iron for 12 years. Started out as just kind of like a help hand. One of the guys that produce it, Ryan, is my son's godfather. So started doing that, and about 7 years ago, he dropped it on me that you're going to MC the whole thing when I showed up. So I shit my pants, to say the least.
I bet.
But I've been doing it ever since, and
how many years has the event been going total?
12 total years.
Okay.
At Long Beach, we wrapped up our last one there in June. We are coming back. People are concerned that we're not coming back. We're actually doing Art Gathering LA next year.
Oh, okay.
It'll be on the boat. But we came out to Tennessee and saw Tennessee and knew that this was probably the next place for us to go.
Yeah, man. And this is your first time.
This is our very first year in Nashville, yes.
And it seems like, we're early in it, but it seems like it's going smoothly so far.
We've had a lot of good outpour about this whole event. We're excited. People, the city of Nashville and surrounding cities have been excited, so we're excited too.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people traveled in. I've talked to a lot of not just artists, but people walking around that have traveled to get here. We traveled to get here. So, and Nashville just seems to be a town that has taken off.
Oh, man. It's huge. Yeah. I mean, the surrounding areas that we've been able to go and see and be a part of has just, been a real joy to be a part of. Coming to the South, I'm a California kid.
Yeah.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
A little bit slower out here, but the people have been amazingly nice, and so we're happy to be here.
So is it? Typically in Long Beach, it's a pretty huge show each year. Is it?
Yeah, we have approximately 30 to 35,000 people come through the gate on a 3-day weekend. Saturday and Sundays top out about 12 to 13,000 people. We started out a small venue just doing tattoos, and it ended up being we take over about 25 acres outside of Queen Mary.
Wow. And so, huge music acts now and stuff. That's taken off.
This year we've got, Misfits and Suicidal, and Merle Haggard played last night. He's playing again tonight. So it's some pretty good acts. We try to be pretty diverse in the music so that we can bring as many people as we can.
Yeah. And obviously bringing Merle Haggard in Nashville is probably
It's a pretty big
move.
one. Yeah, it's a pretty big one.
So setting something like this up, when did you start planning? You personally start working towards Nashville?
Nashville's been kind of in our mind for about the last year. We solidified it about 9 months ago, and then rolling into Long Beach, we knew we were coming. There's usually a crew of about 15 of us that set up, but last night there was 2 of us setting this whole thing up inside for 17 and a half hours.
Oh my God.
So Ryan Van Dreschi, the other producer of it, so it was a long night.
I bet,
but it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the planning, obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into setting something.
Year in advance we start.
Yeah.
So we actually have guys that will right out of it are already looking to sign up for next year.
Yeah.
So we have an extensive list of artists that we choose from and try and put the best of the best here. So.
And you've got some badasses here. There's some really, really good artists, tattooers. And that's the thing. We've interviewed. We've done 5 or 6 shows already this morning, and some of these guys, Sean and Scott helped to line up, and I wasn't familiar with their work at all. And then I'm like, all right, who are we talking to next? And I start to flip through a portfolio.
Amazing.
I'm like, holy shit, how do I not know this guy? He's awesome. It's and that's just the way tattooing's going.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we look at when artists put in to get in here. We do go over their portfolios extensively to make sure that we're bringing in the best possible work we can possibly bring in.
Yeah. And that's but luckily that's getting easier to do because there's
Absolutely.
Just
There's so
many
good artists, young artists coming up now, and it's really fun to see.
Yeah, we interviewed Marcy Malkinthin last year from she does the Austin Star of Texas thing, and she's been in it since the late '80s, early '90s, and she was like a T-shirt vendor, and went around and decided she was going to start putting together a show that was just all custom tattooers.
Yes.
And this was like in the early 90s. And literally there were like 12 booths. She was like, custom tattooers didn't exist. We couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, and now it's come such a long way. It's kind of like the way our show started. We had 30 booths.
Yeah.
You know, we were in a small town in Paso Robles, California. And this thing has just escalated and gone a lot bigger than I think we ever thought it would be.
Yeah. How'd you end up getting into tattooing? Was it just because of your son's godfather?
I was a collector. Ryan was a piercer for years. I was heavily involved with some local shops, just, hang around.
Yeah.
And then we end up starting something small and lucked out,
Taking
and
off
here
from
we
there.
are now.
Yeah. I would assume in California, I wasn't coming up, and I started tattooing in the mid '90s, like mid-late '90s, and in Tennessee it was custom tattooing. We were the only custom shop in Memphis, the one that I'm in. In Long Beach, I would imagine you guys were probably light years ahead
Long
of
Beach
us.
is one of the big, tattoo meccas, all dating back many, many years, and that's a lot of where some of the custom work started.
Yeah.
So we were able to bring it back to Long Beach. The Queen Mary wasn't too sure about it back then. But luckily we did what we did.
So you were introduced to really solid quality tattooing earlier on.
I got my first tattoo when I was 16 years old. Got a girl's name on me.
Yeah, good move.
It was fucking horrible. I won't do that again. I actually got Void tattooed over it. So.
Perfect.
But growing up in Southern California, we've seen some pretty good guys. I actually got tattooed for the first time at the same shop Tim Hendricks owns now, which is Classic Tattoo. And Tim and I kind of grew up in the same town. So he was our host in Long Beach. Great guy, great artist. So
So are there any plans to expand it or to more shows, or are you just trying to stick with one east, one west?
We are going to do Art Gathering LA is our plan for next year. We'd like to transfer that and do art gatherings throughout the country, from Vegas to Texas to the East Coast, and we're still kind of planning that out. But Nashville's kind of going to be our second home, home away from home for now.
Yeah, man, that's great. I'm glad to hear that, especially because we're just 3 hours away. It makes it nice and easy. Easiest way if artists or shops are watching this and want to get involved in it, how far in advance are they typically?
We'll take a few months off. We will be accepting emails. We'll look into everything. We do get back to people, but with the run we've had going from Long Beach right into Nashville has been extended it quite a bit, doubled the pressure. But come about October, November, we start looking at and getting people signed up for the next shows that we have coming up.
And they find you through
inkandiron.com.
inkandiron.com.
Yeah,
right,
and we have all our contact there. And
okay, sweet. On a last note, how much time was in between California and Nashville this year?
It was June, second weekend in June this year.
Okay, and then here we are, the 1st of August. Wow, that was fast.
A couple of our guys drove out about 2.5 weeks ago. We took two 53-foot trailers out. A lot of us drove out. I was lucky enough to get to fly out.
That's nice. God. So will you keep it that? Will you stagger it further next year, or do you think you'll keep them
hoping so.
close?
We're not sure. We're still trying to dial it in with obviously the city. They want to see how it goes, but we're hoping to do the same about thing.
Yeah. Sweet, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks for the beer.
Yeah.